For all the single people present today, what's the most attractive personality trait someone could have? A sense of humor, right? Humor is one of the most powerful tools that we have. We use it to connect, to cope, to communicate. From awkward school presentations to tense family dinners, humor finds a way to save the day. But the kind of humor that we've been seeing online lately, it's different. It's not playful or lighthearted, it's darker. Jokes about trauma, racism, and even mass violence, circulating online as memes, reels, and punchy one-liners. Sometimes it's labeled as relatable content. Other times it's passed off as satire. And while some people might say it's a coping mechanism, it's also becoming a mask for hate. Now, I want you all to imagine something with me. Picture yourself scrolling through your feed and you come across a meme or a reel that makes fun of a particular group of people. Now, most of us will laugh, maybe even share it. But here's what's interesting. Research shows that you're less likely to recognize hate speech when it's presented to you as a joke. Think about that. Our ability to spot hatred just disappears the second someone wraps it in a joke. Now, if someone posted, "All Muslims are terrorists who hate our freedom," we'd immediately recognize that as Islamophobic hate speech. But turn that same message into a meme with a picture of an airplane that says, "Uh-oh, Mohammed's flying the airplane today," and suddenly it becomes dark humor that gets thousands of shares. Now, I love memes. We all do. During COVID, when the world felt like it was ending, what got us through? Memes about Zoom calls and bread baking disasters. Those shared laughs created a sense of community across borders and screens. Humor literally healed us. It connected us when we couldn't meet. It gave us hope when everything else felt hopeless. Memes have also been used to highlight social issues and support movements, like when climate activists turned serious data into funny, shareable posts that reached millions. These memes don't just reflect our culture, they shape it. There's a reel I came across on Instagram not too long ago. It starts off with a clip about getting a new friend. And then it cuts to a black screen that says, "But then she tried to touch me inappropriately." This video got over 350,000 likes. It was a joke. The creator of this video didn't actually experience sexual assault. And just like that, thousands of reels followed suit, all under the same trend, all making light of sexual abuse. Each one a little less shocking than the last, each one drawing in a little more laughter, and each one moving us a little further away from the weight of what's actually being said. And for someone who might have experienced something like this, who's sitting there, phone in hand, watching everyone joke about it, what message do they receive? That what happened to them is laughable. Over time, little by little, our brains stop processing these kind of jokes as harm anymore. They become just another trend to share. Now, social media algorithms create what researchers call echo chambers, digital spaces where similar content gets reinforced over and over. Just think about how your Instagram feed looks completely different from your parents'. While you might be getting dark humor about trauma or memes about mental health, they're getting cooking videos and vacation photos. The algorithm decides what version of reality each of us see. And we start believing that our corner of the internet truly represents how everyone thinks. It doesn't distinguish between good repetition or bad repetition. It just sees engagement. Controversial content, more engagement, more reach. So if you interact with edgy humor once, you'll see more of it, and suddenly, before you realize it, abuse and hate are trending. And inside these algorithmic bubbles, normalization happens invisibly. We see joke after joke targeting the same group of people. We watch our friends share them. We see thousands of likes and comments laughing along. Over time, this normalization starts to shift our sense of right and wrong. But we don't notice we've moved because everyone around us, or at least everyone the algorithm shows us, seems to be moving in the same direction. But they're not. It pushes us to tolerate or ignore harmful views just because they come dressed up in humor. Even the comments under this post go on to show just that, with people saying things like, "And I told her to do so every time," or "I begged her not to stop." This is groupthink in action for you, and social media thrives on this. If enough people laugh, we feel like we should too. Nobody wants to be the one who can't take a joke, right? And when a joke takes off on social media, it spreads like wildfire. And suddenly, it's everywhere. And when enough people start to treat something like it's funny, it becomes harder and harder to say, "This actually isn't." Over time, humor isn't just shaping what we find funny, it's shaping what we accept as our reality. And the people watching this the most, teenagers, young children, the humor they consume is defining their outlook, their perspectives, their beliefs, their morals. Dark humor becomes the norm, and these kind of jokes form a major part of the digital culture. Over time, this leads to the dulling of a collective empathy on a generational scale. Now, for everyone who thinks that I'm overreacting to a few trends online, let me show you what the research actually says. When psychologists study disparagement humor, humor that repeatedly targets a specific group of people, they find that it can actually increase prejudice and even tolerance for violence against that group. In fact, men with hostile sexist attitudes are more likely to support negative behaviors towards women after exposure to sexist humor. And it gets worse. Research has consistently shown links between sexist humor and increased rape proclivity in men, meaning exposure to these kind of jokes correlates with a greater willingness to commit sexual violence. But why do we keep consuming it? Why do we keep sharing it? The answer lies in how our brains work. When we laugh, humor engages the nucleus accumbens, a key component of the mesolimbic dopaminergic reward system. Now, I know that sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. In simple terms, it's your brain's reward center, the same system that lights up when you eat chocolate or take a hit of nicotine. Essentially, it's your brain's way of rewarding you for laughing, even when what you're laughing at is harmful. But there's something even more interesting happening at the neural level. Neuroscientists point to the activity of mirror neurons. Neurons that are active both when an individual sees a task and when an individual sees another doing the same task. So when you see someone laughing, these neurons fire as if you were laughing yourself, creating a powerful sense of connection. This is exactly how radicalization happens. Not through dramatic manifestos or violent rhetoric, but through memes, through jokes. So a meme that starts as just a joke can quickly become a tool for weaponized radicalization without most of us even realizing it. During the Nazi era, Der Stürmer was known for its virulently anti-Semitic caricatures, which depicted Jews as ugly characters with exaggerated facial features and misshapen bodies. These cartoons, these dehumanizing cartoons, were widely circulated, contributing to the capacity of many Germans to accept the Nazi program. They weren't presented as serious political discourse, just something to laugh at. Now, does this mean we should start censoring every joke? Block every meme that offends someone? Censorship might sound like an easy fix, but it's a dangerous road. Once we start deciding what people can or can't say, we risk shutting down important conversations altogether. Where do we decide where it stops? Who gets to decide what's too far? Free speech is a cornerstone of democratic societies and essential for humor to thrive. It allows comedians and creators to push boundaries, critique power, and most importantly, provoke thought. Without free speech, for example, films like Doctor Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb wouldn't exist. This movie used dark satire to criticize the Cold War and the threat of nuclear annihilation. It used bold and often absurd humor to challenge political and military authority, forcing audiences to reflect deeply on the dangers of global conflict. It was controversial, deeply uncomfortable for many viewers, but it also forced audiences to reflect on the dangers of global conflict and the threat of nuclear annihilation. And without free speech, films like these might never exist, and we'd lose one of the most powerful ways to hold up a mirror to society. But humor isn't just about challenging authority or pointing out flaws. It can also heal and unite. In these moments, humor becomes a tool for empowerment, not harm. This is a paradox we're living in. Humor, meant to connect us, is slowly disconnecting us. It's meant to open conversations, but too often it shuts them down. So, where does this leave us? It doesn't mean we stop laughing, and it doesn't mean we can't joke about hard things. Humor memes can and have been used as powerful tools for marginalized communities to reclaim narratives, build solidity, and resist oppression. But it does mean recognizing the difference between laughing through the pain and laughing at someone else's. The algorithms won't suddenly develop a moral compass, but we can. We can choose what to laugh at, what to normalize in our own circles, and what to share. So, the next time we laugh, let's ask ourselves, are we just laughing, or are we letting the meme mask what really matters? Thank you.